Hi, I'm just waiting because I need to freeze some chord layers because my CPU is dying. So I've been getting a lot of requests to do a reconstruction of this track. I decided to kind of do a little challenge for me to force myself to finish tracks. And every week, every Friday, I post a track on SoundCloud. And some of these tracks I put also on YouTube. So I decided, hey, I'm gonna make a video and show you what is inside this track. So the track is being called Daydreaming and it is available everywhere, so if you want to take a listen, my music name is Aiden Williams, just search for it and it'll show up. Okay, so I'm not gonna be playing back the whole thing because this is 3 minutes actually. Let's just go from the build up to the drop. Okay, and then we have this breakdown, and also the second drop is a little different. Yeah, so you're probably wondering what chord stacks look like and what they are exactly and how you made these chord switches. So this is really cool. I decided to incorporate this sort of call and response thing when you have one part in the drop and then you put something different, like in another half you put something different as like a response to the first part, and then you just repeat it. But I didn't repeat it because it didn't work. But there is call and response still. So this is a call. And this is a response here. And I could just go and repeat this, but I decided to make a little variation and add something completely different. I'm gonna start from the drums and then go into chord stacks. So yeah, there's nothing complex here, like kick and snare, some hi-hats, some transitions to the snare. This percussion is, I guess, reversed, I'm not sure, but this is building up to hit the snare. And then we have this sort of response here. And so we have open hi-hats, we have normal hi-hats, and also we have these hi-hats playing kind of more in the background, and then we have this rising percussion thing. So there's a transition to the second part of the drop, and then we have a completely different drum pattern. Speaking of post-processing, I like to put a glue compressor with a soft clip on it and push it really high so it distorts. So especially when the kick and the hi-hat is playing together, when the low end is colliding sort of with the high end and there's a distortion afterwards, soft clip distortion is gonna create this crunchy thing. And then I'm compressing this a little bit. And then what's cool here is free clip, because I didn't want these transients to be so loud. I decided to just tame them a little bit with a free clip, which is a soft clip, sort of limiter, but it gives you a distortion when you limit stuff. And then we have beautiful chord stacks. Yeah, okay. So what's happening here? There's a lot of things going on. Let's go through layers and then we'll go to the automations and stuff. So every layer, if you want to get the same exact preset, you can get it from the Ultimate Future-Based Serum Preset Pack Volume 1. So the main layer is this sort of square wave chord. And then we have this middle sound, sine wave. And then chord flicker 1, which is in higher frequencies. Yeah. sew it together. Sounds pretty full, but I still needed something in the background and on the top of these chords. So I put arpeggios, very wide, and then we have this lead. Square wave, it has some space effects to make it wide. And then also to just support the top end, I decided to add this white noise. Great, also in the background we have this. And the bass line. And vocal chops. Okay, so the most interesting part, automations. Why this chord track sounds so spicy? You may ask yourself. Don't ask yourself, ask me. Yeah, this is really messy. I could have done this in a completely different way, but I don't know. We have 4 LFO tools here. 4 LFO tools. So this is a sidechain for the kick. Nothing we should be worrying about. And the second LFO tool is for the second part of the drop here. Basically, this LFO is automating only volume, nothing else. And this shape is affecting the chords only in the second part of the drop. So there's this trigger. So when the kick and snare hit, the chords also hit at the same time. So we have this sort of tape stuff, but with some glitch stuff happening here. And I've been making a video on this called Tape Stop without any plugins. But basically without this, these are just chords. If we add this is not exactly tape stop because we don't have this repitched. Yeah, but this is just fading. So I think because the delay time is really short, when the delay time is really short and the feedback is really high, it's gonna create this kind of effect. I am modulating this time and a dry wet to fade it in and the gain, because it was getting louder and louder. So this is the main chord stacks volume automation. So if we turn this off, so I am automating this to turn off in the second part of the first part of the drop. So there's a switch between LFO shapes. We have this one, and then in the second part we have another LFO, which is rising, and it gives a completely different feel. These are just automations. I know it looks complex, but when you know what these are doing, it is not so complex. That thing here, that automation is a filter automation. A little details like there, like wow, wow, instead of just simple. And here, when the kick and snare hit, to make that additional sidechain, but with a filter. After this whole chain, I have glue compressor, the actual compression. When we add the glue compressor, it's like less dynamic, more kind of like glued together. By doing this, I was actually able to, while mastering, to push the volume higher because of the smaller dynamic range. The second drop, the LFO slows down, and there's a chopped up chord progression. So as you can see here, there's a space here and there, and then we have these vocal chops. In terms of the breakdown, I simply put the drums here, the bass, vocal chops, and the arps. You can copy the part of the drop and then remove some elements, and it's gonna feel like a breakdown. Yeah, so if you haven't heard the full track already, I highly recommend to do this. And big thanks for listening, for supporting. I highly appreciate it.
See you in the next one.